Hello everyone, it's Chef K here today. How's everyone doing? So today I brought my mixer outside and I'm going to try to, well, we're not going to try, we are going to make this strawberry shortcake today. So usually when I make a strawberry shortcake, I like to use a pound cake recipe. So this is what we're going to be doing today, is a pound cake recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, we have all our mise en place, and hopefully Chef K has everything out and ready to go. Mise en place, remember, means getting all your tools and equipment and ingredients out. So paddle beater today on our mixer, and we are going to do a half a recipe. So we have this I found this recipe. It's called Kentucky Blue Ribbon all pound butter pound cake. So I just went through it. We're gonna just go half of the recipe because what I'm doing is I'm gonna put it in these little heart shape. So we're gonna do them in these heart shaped trays. All right, and we will do it in these today. So usually it calls for a bundt cake. All right, it calls 2-pan or a bundt cake pan for this. So in other words, it would be a round pan with a hole in the middle of it. But I am doing it with just separate. We're doing little separate heart-shaped pound cakes today for our strawberry shortcake. So the recipe calls for all the dry ingredients to put in together first in 1 cup. So, but I kind of like to do it a little differently. I like to get my butter and sugar going first. So that's what we're gonna do. So it calls for 1.5 cups of butter. But what we're gonna do is, since we're cutting that in half, we're gonna divide that. So remember, 1 cup is how much? 8 ounces. So if I want to cut a cup in half, I'm going to do 4 ounces. So we're going to start off with 4 ounces of butter. And I've had this out, so it's going to be really soft. I hope it doesn't stick on the paper. I'm not even going to cut it. Like sometimes I've cut this and broken it up, but I don't think I'm going to need to. So there's 4 ounces. And if we're doing another half a stick, because it says 1.5 cups, so half cup, of course, would be our 4 ounce. So I'm doing half of 4 ounce. So it's going to be 2 ounces or 4 tablespoons of butter for the other amount. Okay, so of course I had the paper on that one. So it's going to be actually a 4 ounce stick and a half of a stick, so 2 ounces. All right, so 6 ounces total butter. And of course, I like to get my butter cream. So this is almost like a cookie recipe. What you do is you cream your butter and sugar together. So the next thing I'm gonna do is start measuring our sugar. So the sugar, it calls for 3 cups. So just remember, half of 3 cups is gonna be 1.5 cups. So I'm gonna fill up my cup first. Cup, and I'm going to heat a little bit, and we're just going to start gradually pouring that in. So again, 3 cups, but we're dividing it in half, so it's 1.5 cups. And then we're going to do a half cup. Again, we're creaming these together like we would a cookie. And we're going to add that. We have 1.5 cups of sugar. So our sugar is done. Get that out of the way. The next thing is, once it's creamed, we like to do what? We like to scrape it bowl down. So I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to bring this up. We're going to scrape this bowl down a little bit. In other words, just get the butter off the sides, off the bottom, so it mixes in thoroughly. When we gonna add our eggs next and vanilla. So we want this all almost like we're starting to mix it all over again, because it'll keep on mixing to the sides, and sometimes it doesn't incorporate everything evenly. So we scrape it down. Remember, we have a rubber spatula we do that with. So I'm giving you guys some clues on your assignment, some tools. Put that down, lock it, and then we're going to continue mixing that. Now we're going to do eggs. So the recipe called for 5 eggs total for the whole recipe. We're dividing it in half. I'm gonna go with 3 eggs. You can't, how do you divide 5? It'd be 2.5. I can't do 2.5 eggs unless I want to break 1 in half and kind of split it up. So basically, I'm just gonna do 3 eggs. Now the thing here again, guys, remember when we mix the eggs into our cream mixture, it's always 1 at a time. So I have 3 eggs, I'm not gonna throw them all in, I'm gonna do 1 at a time. So we're gonna crack each egg, 1 at a time. Check, make sure there's no shells, and then we're gonna add it. All right, now you're probably thinking, well, how do you know when to add the next egg? You add the next egg when it's all incorporated evenly in there. All right, if you still see the yellow of the egg and it's not incorporated evenly, then it's not time to add the other egg. Another good idea is to, when you're doing this, is stop it in between and then again scrape it down. So you're getting it all, again, incorporated throughout the mixture. Alright, and we're going to do another egg. Drop that back down, lock it, start it up. Again, check it, drop it in, move it up a little bit, and again we're waiting for that to get incorporated in evenly, and while it's going we can actually start our other egg. And it does call for vanilla in this, so with vanilla it calls for a teaspoon, so I'm going to go with a 1/2 teaspoon. And I'm going to add it right to my egg mixture. Teaspoon, add it right into my egg, and then that's done. So our eggs are going to be done, and our vanilla is done. So pretty much almost all the liquid's done. Not quite, we still have milk. You see how nice and light and fluffy that is? Then I'm going to add another egg and the vanilla. Continue mixing. Now while that's mixing, I can start doing my dry ingredients. So with the dry ingredients, it's 3 cups of flour also. So just remember, we had 3 cups of sugar. What was the amount if we divide it in half? It's going to be 1.5 again. So 1.5 of the flour. So we'll get that going. We're going to level it with our spatula. I'm going to put it in my small bowl. And now I need a 1/2 cup. Always heap it, all right? So you can make sure you're leveling it off straight. All right, there's our other 1/2. So we have our 1.5 cups of flour, and now we just have to add our baking powder. So baking powder, it's again in half. So if it's a teaspoon, we go 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm actually gonna wipe this down because I don't want it to be damp when I get that. And again, I'm gonna get my 1/2. And I'm going to level it off, and that goes into our flour mixture. What you can do is mix that all together so it combines. So our dry ingredients are ready, and now the next thing is its milk is also added to this. So the milk is, the recipe calls for a cup. We're dividing it in half, so we're going how much a cup? 1/2 cup. So I have my 1/2 cup, or my cup measure here, well, 2 cup measure, and we're gonna go 1/2 cup. Remember, we have to go like eye level. Wow, that's pretty good. Chef K just poured it freehand in that cup, and it was just the right amount. So now, when we do this, I'm gonna one more time stop it. We're gonna scrape it down one more time. You can see how nice and light it is now. All right, and we're gonna alternately, Okay, so alternately, couldn't even spit that word out. We're gonna mix in the butter or the milk and the flour. In other words, not just gonna dump all the flour. I'm gonna do some flour, some milk, and do it back and forth. I don't want to say alternately because I had a hard time with that, but all right. So we're gonna put, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a smaller, the 1/2 cup, and I'm gonna start mixing a little bit of that in. And then I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of the milk in, and then we're gonna start her up again. Lock it down, start it. Get ready for a little bit more flour. A little bit more milk. Not too much left in here now, so I'm just going to add the rest of that, and then a little milk, and I'm going to drizzle a little of the milk in towards the end. All right, that. So the next thing, of course, I preheated my oven already to 350. So I did that already while I was out here. I'm gonna just get this one more time on the sides. Scrape down. Drop that back, mix it a little bit more. So pretty much the batter's done. That's all we have to do with that. Now, we're gonna, like I said, we preheated the oven, and then we're gonna get our pans. I wanna show you guys about greasing the pans. So I already did 4 of them. So when we grease this pan to get it ready, we wanna make sure we put a good amount of the grease in there. Don't be shy with it. You want to coat it real good. Because it's a little bit difficult to get this out of here unless you grease it real good. I was almost thinking about getting some parchment paper and cutting it and putting it on the bottom to fit on the bottom. It would come out real nice then. But guess what? I ran out of parchment paper, so I don't have that. So this is greased real good, and I like to do too. And they actually say in the recipe, grease, coat, and then flour also helps so it doesn't stick. So what I'm doing is just putting a little bit of flour in each one of these, and I'm just going to kind of stir it around. What do I do with the rest of the flour? I'm outside. I guess I'm going to throw it in the grass. I don't have no garbage out here. So that's what I'm doing with it. Throw it in the grass. Maybe it's good fertilizer. I don't know. Maybe I'll grow some flowers. Hey, get it? I'll grow some flowers out there. Okay, that wasn't that good. All right, so now we're going to open this up. And all we're going to do now is start filling these. I'm going to show you how to fill these. I'm actually going to take this out so it's out of my way because I always hit my hand on it and get all the batter on my hand every time I go in there. So I'm going to kind of drop that off. Now with this, you want to make sure that at least 3/4 fill, because this will rise up, of course, because it is almost like a bread. So what I do is almost about at least 2 scoops in these. All right, and you can see how it fills it up pretty good. This makes actually more. I did this a I'll show you. I pretty much did a batch of this already today. So what I'm going to do is actually finally show you again a final product kind of. Otherwise I'd have to bake this, and of course we'd have to cut the video and then we wouldn't be able to see all the rest. So I actually did 2 batches. This is my second batch of making these. So I'm gonna have a lot of these little strawberry shortcakes. The only problem is, what did we talk about Monday on our assignment with the berries? So I was a little bit upset today because when I went to my strawberries, and of course I've had them a couple days, and we talked about berries being very perishable. In other words, they go bad quickly. Well, pretty much out of all the strawberries I had, I think I had about a cup left. They just went bad on me. So I had to wash them and cut all the bad spots. So I'm going to show you what I had left. So this is what I had left out of a whole thing of strawberry. So this is already going in the oven, all right? So when you bake this, you're gonna bake it about 20 minutes. I'd say close to 20 minutes. What happens, it's gonna rise up. It's gonna take a little bit higher than this pan, but you want it to brown off a little bit, like golden brown. So actually, I'm gonna put this up here, and I'm gonna show you how they came out today. So here's how they should come out. All right, so they should be nice and golden brown. You can see how they rose up nice. So this actually came out really nice. So now when I do this, I'm going to do a couple things first. I'm going to do some of the strawberries to show you. So the strawberries, again, I've cut and I've cleaned them. So I'm just going to slice them now. And what you could do with these to make it a little bit sweeter, you can actually take these and cut them and then put some sugar on them and actually put them back in the refrigerator for a while. And what happens is the sugar kind of breaks these down a little bit and gets a little bit almost like a syrup coming out of them. So if you like them a little sweet, you could put a little bit of sugar sprinkle on them, put them back in a bowl, stir them around, and then they'll coat it, and it'll kind of actually make almost like a little syrup for it. Truthfully, since I'm a little bit on the heavier side, I want to try to avoid the sugar. So I'm not putting sugar in mine. So I'm going to go with just the strawberries without the sugar, because we figure the cake's got sugar in it, right? So this is what we're going to do next. I got my fancy dessert plate that I found in the house. I have never used probably, and I don't even know when. So what I'm going to do is first is I'm going to cut this in half, hopefully without breaking it. So we cut this in half. We're going to put our cake there. And we're going to take actually the strawberries. Actually, let's do this because it'll probably help it sit in there a little easier. So what I did is I have just regular Cool Whip. I put it in this pastry bag. So what I'm going to do is actually coat this a little bit first. Let's hope it comes out without the piping bag coming out of there. And I'm just going to put a little coating on the bottom. And then I'm going to put the strawberries in because that'll stay on there a little bit better with the whipped topping on there. So I'm just going to take them. And I'm going to spread them on top of there. And it doesn't matter if they fall off to the side. I mean, it's fine. All right. And then I'm going to put my top back on. Actually, you could put more if you want. You could put more topping on there too. We could do that. A little bit more on there just to get. And then I'm going to put my top back on. And then you could do a couple things. You could put more strawberries on top, or you could kind of just, you know, this way. You could make your little decorations, or you can go right around. Gotta watch the bugs too. That's the only thing about working outside. You get the bugs. Alright, so you got a little bit of coating, and if you want to kind of mess around a little bit more with this, I have, don't know what I did with it. If you want to put a little more color into it, I don't know if this is going to work too good, but you could put just a little bit of strawberry syrup on there, just a little bit more color, and there you have the finished product, our strawberry shortcake. All right, so that is what we'll be doing for our assignment today. All right, guys, take care.